Welcome to From the Baseline with Premier Basketball. And we got Shane Laflin and Jason Key, the whole crew's here. And we got started back to basketball this weekend with the Yellow Rose of Texas in Mansfield, Texas. Now, I was only able to be there on Sunday, but you two guys were there the whole weekend. And overall thoughts, first weekend back, COVID-19, how did it all go?
I mean, we do a lot of events. We've done got a lot of experience, but I was, pleasantly surprised by how smooth it was considering the new adjustments we made. So like Kathy King, who likes to remain anonymous, cannot remain anonymous because she did a fantastic job with like our support staff people and who've been working our events for years. But it was different. So she had great court monitors on every court. That took care of the things like cleaning off the benches, instructing people how to, funnel in, funnel out. And we're just on it. And for it to have been as smooth as it was, I mean, contactless purchasing of entry, none of that was handled at the door. It was all online and QR code scanned, to timing of letting people in, to lengthening the gap in between games, to make sure we can clear the gym and usher other new people in, letting parents in 10 minutes before players in, when the court's cleared. All brand new, all understandable, simple thoughts, but execution, right? And it was so well executed. So we can't give enough credit to Kathy and the planning that she did. And, we talked about a lot for a few months getting back to events and how you could do it responsibly and things. And the way it came off was really good. I was super impressed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I would agree with it. I thought the most genius thing I saw was having everybody bring their own chairs. So just taking away the stands and having to clean them, it naturally made people socially distance, that kind of thing. So I thought that was a genius move that I personally wouldn't have thought of. So props to it, whoever that came through. I know we talked a little bit about that, but props for executing and doing it. That was very well done. I also want to shout out to the refs. You could tell, along with the players, they were happy to be back in the gym. This is what they do. So people got to understand they've been sitting for a couple months here, and that's it's a big deal. So there's people making a few bucks that they need type thing.
Yeah, Don Atkinson and his crew always is fantastic.
Yeah,
they were
great job.
Absolutely. And when I got there Sunday, it was like a well-oiled machine, is what it seemed like.
It took about 2 games on Saturday to where we knew that we had to tell people some things about coming and going that you explained to them before, but they didn't quite get it. So we knew how to like preemptively get in there. But it took about 2 games, and after that it was.
Well, and a shout out to the club coaches and the players and the parents who just rolled with it. Everybody was excited to get back in the gym. Everybody was excited to play. But we had minimal issues. Everybody was like, hey, I got my chair, was prepared. Everybody worked with us. And, I mean, even though they knew that they had to wait, everybody got in. And, the day flowed, and it was nice. And we put some more time between games. And, it was nice. Kids got a full warm-up, and it didn't feel like we were rushed to bang, 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 bang into another game. And it just made it an enjoyable weekend. So, shout out to all the parents and the club coaches and the players who just worked with us throughout the weekend, just on the flow of how all this was going to work. And
planning, communication, and execution. Imagine that. And smooth.
So, just like out of a timeout, we go win the game, just like that. All right.
What's the phrase, Jay? That's what we do.
That's what we do.
The premier way.
The premier way. Awesome. Now, all that stuff went well. Overall, what did you think of the play from the weekend overall for the whole tournament?
For me, I was pleasantly surprised, actually. Kids seemed to be in pretty good shape. There was more cohesion than I expected from a team perspective. even for your newer teams, your 16 years and younger, a lot of times those are a lot of new parts in there, especially. Right. So I thought that was good. We saw a lot of dramatic late game situations throughout where people had to execute out of timeouts, that kind of thing. Thought that was pretty well done. So I was playing. I was also, I thought the kids were further along maybe than I expected, just from both a cardiovascular standpoint and from the skill standpoint. People have been getting shots at one way or another,
right?
For the most part. So I saw that. I wondered about the cardio side of things, and I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it was good. So I thought especially considering its first weekend and all that the rust there could have been, they played really well overall.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I definitely echo that sentiment. I expect to see a few people gasp, but I didn't see anything really outstanding where I was like, man, that kid is tired. And I think coaches I felt like there was a little bit of a understanding that they needed to sub a little bit more frequently, and I thought they did a good job of that. And it's first weekend out, so you're doing that anyway.
Right.
Usually first weekend out in March, I see so much dribbling that I don't want to come back to the gym the next weekend, but I didn't see that for this weekend. And I saw some fresh legs. I'm really proud of some people like Michelle Gatewood that had to get back from injury, that clearly took this time to not only come back from what was an injury that she had to battle through during the high school season, but then get into shape in a different kind of time period. It's she was really outstanding to me because she has gotten into really good shape. And then having watched her DeSoto team and then her club team last year when she was missing time, she makes a big difference. So not just as a player, but conditioning and like I said, getting into really good shape. So really pleased with the teams. They were happy to be there. That was a cool part. I mean, there was a lot of smiling, a lot of people that genuinely hadn't seen each other in a long time. Yeah. So that social aspect, that was a good thing. And they didn't get to really hang out, but they were happy to be on the court, and they went out and they did their thing, and then they came back when their next game came. But they were happy to be there. Coaches were happy to be there. You had a few of the little angry coach outbursts that, we could all calm down a little bit, but the players were happy, and that was cool. And then of course we had, some good captures of the games because they're being live streamed, and now they're on demand. And so we got a lot of good feedback from that. And then of course Britt was in there doing what Britt does, capturing images, capturing memories. People excited about that. We were able to post a few of them over the weekend, but we'll get more out in a write-up and within this show, obviously. And then Britt makes those available to families and players as well. So just, again, another part of the team that did really well. And then, the event was good because the players and coaches were good.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and that's, you can do all the organization, all that kind of stuff. If you don't have high quality play and high quality players, the product you put out is just not going to be that good. And we were fortunate to have some really good teams at all different levels. We're talking about young kids to top age kids and some under the radar kids. And so overall, the talent was great. And you mentioned, Shane, the live stream and the first event, and we tried to do a lot of buzz about it and a lot of hey, make sure and educate and communicate that, hey, this is there, this is there, this is there. And I know we had a lot of views, with it from this weekend. But Jason, you got a chance to talk to quite a few college coaches and stuff about it. What was the feedback from college coaches about the live stream this weekend?
Funny thing is, a couple of them wanted to go this way permanently, so that's as good as it can get. But they liked obviously having the access from home and having the comforts of home while still getting work done. So I know there was multiple staffs that had they were watching, had a group text going while they were at home, and so it was just it really helped them be mobile and be able to do whatever it is they had to do while still getting work done, watching our event. I got a lot of, they thought it was really high quality, especially on laptops. I want to make, it seems that the stream may be a little quick for some cell phones. I heard that, But for everybody that did that, when they switched it from cell phone to laptop, no issue. So if you are having any kind of issue with your cell phone, go to laptop. I heard that from a couple of folks. Other than that,
uncommon, they got a lot going on in the background on their phones at all times, and they don't even know they need to shut their apps down.
Right.
And Athlete Vision can tell when it's on their end. So a lot of the times it's not on their end when it's buffering and things. It's not on their end. They have so much capability and bandwidth that they know when it's them. So they try to get the word out that, a lot of times you got to make sure the background of your device is, if you're having issues, it may actually be on your uptake.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and then a lot, from what I heard too, a lot of parents watched, even parents that weren't, that are just basketball heads, didn't necessarily have their own kids playing this weekend. So a lot of great feedback from that end too. So seems like a smashing success from everything I've heard.
It was, I don't know the official number to the digit, but it was I think close to 1,000, a little over 1,000 streams throughout the weekend. So that's pretty solid considering it was a 64-team event.
Absolutely.
It's pretty good.
And when you say 1,000 streams, that's like 1,000 different people watching?
Right. Not just like views from game to game, but like actually logged in, created, and got between the 2 days.
Right.
I don't know the breakdown between the 2 days. I know for the first day we were close to 800, and those people returned back. I don't, like I said, I don't know if that means they counted them. That doesn't mean they counted them twice for sure, because it was returners plus new ones on Sunday.
Right. Well, and Sunday was hard because Sunday was Father's Day. So there, there's a lot of family stuff that weekend. But shoot, to get 1,000 people to log in, college coaches, fans, parents, just the basketball community is huge, and just communicates to what live streaming can do, to help with the exposure side, just within the whole recruiting process. So,
and now it's ready and on demand today helps as well, because these players then go refer people to games. It went, I know it was about noon or 1 that the on demand was all loaded, and there were already people at that time immediately going to get it. I guess they got a notification or whatever.
So on demand, they could go back and watch it. If they purchased it already, they can go back and watch it.
No, separate. There's live, and then there's the on-demand access until it's at least 90 days, but right now it says it's September 1st. That'll be
right. So on demand till September 1st. College coaches, fans, players, coaches. If you want to go back and sit down with your players and use it as a game film session. I mean, there's the angle and the way that it's shot. I mean, from a coaching standpoint, you can see it and draw it up. There's a lot of coaching that can be done with the game film. So awesome. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and you're going to see some shots and some videos from this weekend. So enjoy that. But stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to talk about players and matchups and stuff that stood out to us from the weekend. So stay with us. All right, welcome back to From the Baseline with Premier Basketball. Shane Laflin, Jason Key, I'm Mark Williams. Thanks for tuning in. We are recapping the Yellow Rose first tournament of the season for us with Premier Basketball. And we got a later start than we normally do, but we were super excited to get started this weekend. And talent was great overall for the tournament. But Jason, who were maybe some teams, some players that stood out to you from the weekend?
I'm gonna start individually, and I guess we'll work towards teams if we get there. But first one when I think of was 2021 Kendra Gillespie for Lady Drive Nation 17U Jet team. She was originally committed to Ole Miss and is open back up. Just when you look at her at the next level, she's going to be a very tough matchup on film. Just big body, has a true post-up game to her. So if you put a smaller defender on you, she can put you in the block. Mm-hmm. And then she can create her own off the bounce and shoot out to the three if you put a bigger one on her. So really just a dynamic matchup problem and really interesting. You know, I mean, she has a lot of upside too. She's really good now, but there's a lot to work with there.
And let's not forget, you know, less than a calendar year ago, right? She hurt her knee.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So, you know, you're not even back to normal yet. And she's a basketball player. Like, don't slap a position on her. I mean, I'm watching her, and I think, Jay, you and I talked about it. I said, you know, you'd have to get into practice you see IQ, and then you want to know the depths of it, like, every day. But, like, Chantal Ozahor, who is an assistant at Arkansas now, but was on that Final Four team that went to Washington, that was just a chess piece for that team. I mean, Gillespie reminds me so much of her, but, you know, with all due respect, like, moves better, shoots it, has a more, like, pushes it, has some wiggle. I mean, pushing with the right hand, dimed off one, like, she's a player. And then you can run your offense through her. She was actually bringing the ball up even into the half-court sets when they were even slowing it down this weekend. I mean, I think there would be some people who like to see players and they don't really evaluate the player. They just look at what they look like. You'll miss on a player like this. Like, she's a basketball player. Like, no doubt. And then, you know, it is astounding to me how well she was moving. She loves to play, you can just tell. Because, like I said, she's inside a calendar year of a knee. And, you know, really proud of her, stuff she's put up, dealt with this year personally with her father and stuff, and the knee, and changing schools and a new spot. Like, good player, man, good player.
Yep.
Yeah, and tough year, but we talked about Gatewood earlier, having taking advantage of. Yeah, my son. There you go. Hey, gentlemen. Gatewood taking advantage of recovering and using this time to get in shape and stuff. Gillespie the same. I mean, she looked good just from a physical standpoint, coming through. So,
later, Scoop Steve.
There you go, baby. This is the real COVID-19 version right here. Yeah, gotta love it. Gotta love it. But yeah, who else you got, Jason?
Yeah, next up for me would be Kirsten Johnson, top team, Lady Drive Nation. Kirsten has grown leaps and bounds, and she is for real. That initial game, her and Tiana Herron going back and forth. Tiana doing a good job in the post, true big, rim running 5 that she is, and then Kirsten, she can shoot the 3, especially from up top. That's her spot. She can that face up 5. She almost looks as tall as Tiana Herron to me. So she's listed as 6'3", but she's a big 6'3", if that makes sense. She's a long 6'3".
She's a long 6'3".
Yeah. And so with that ability to shoot the ball, I mean, she projects really, really well to the next level. And I mean, she jumped on my radar hard this weekend.
Yeah. She's definitely one of those ones that's gotten better, just physically, like the ones that grow like that, you start getting into their bodies. And she showed that ability to shoot from range, more or less in the half circle from the top of the key last year, running, blocking shots, showing a little up and under game in the box. But she, as the event progressed this time, some of it was matchup oriented. She seemed to get better as she continued to play. If we're really coaching her up, you want her to finish amongst people her size and her length and athleticism a little bit better, but the stroke is nice. It really is. And as she showed in that game on Sunday, first or second game, I don't know which one it was of theirs, the ability to be consistent. I mean, I walked over from watching another game. You guys were already on the baseline. As I walked along this baseline, she hit one. And by the time I got to you guys after some slow down action, she hit another one. And so I was like, all right, how many has it been? And she has improved her stock, gotten better, and she's definitely somebody that I talked to coaches about today. I had some of the blue bloods hit and say, talk to me. She was one of the ones that I talked about.
Yeah, well, and her, and then the other one opposite of hers, Ayanna Thompson, and that game that you walked over. I mean, between them, Johnson hit 2, Thompson hit 4 in the first half.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, and their confidence just took off, and you saw Johnson a couple times grab the rebound and take it and lead the break, and I mean, she hesitated and crossed one time that you could tell that she had been working on that in her game. And so naturally, kids who grow and are super long like she is, they're going to be physically late bloomers just because everything's got to catch up. But I mean, after this weekend, it was like, whoo, how good is she going to be?
I'm looking forward to
is really the question.
That bracket at Heart of Texas and those 16-team brackets at those 2 events are going to be freaking loaded. And I'm looking forward to that when we see her again.
And a follow-up on Ayanna Thompson. She older sister AJ will be a freshman at Old Dominion this year. Ayanna has shown flashes of this throughout, right? If it all comes together and you get this game in and game out, I mean, she has it all. She has all the answers. She just as a young player, she tended to drift a little bit, and you could see her growing out of that and taking responsibility for her own. So I was really impressed with her this weekend too, and the mental growth as much as anything.
Absolutely.
Next one for me, this is a kid that I think has stayed under the radar for the Tar Heels, and that's 2022 Hadley Perryman. Perryman, big, 6'2", 6'3", 6'2", probably somewhere in there, 6'1", 6'2", somewhere in there. But really active, on both ends, really rebounds, does what she's asked to do, but makes winning plays. And then has a nice skill set to her. I mean, she'll hit three if you leave her. Yeah, she'll pop you. And then, but she's just unassuming. You're not going to have to run anything for her. Right. And if you leave her open, she makes you pay. She is the perfect team-playing kid that leads to winning.
Yeah.
Versatile defensively, can guard bigger because she's athletic. She can get behind or in front, guard bigger. And she's quick enough that if she gets caught in the switch, she can stay in front. Right? So just there's a lot of versatility to her game on both ends.
Multi-sport kid, right, Jay?
Yep.
And then just blue collar and plays hard. And just like you said, I think the key there is her intention when she walks on the floor is to make winning plays, not to make a play that looks like something that she's seen before to play outside of herself. It's like, oh, short corner jumper, I got it. Trail three, I got it. Space you to the corner, okay. Oh, need to go through your nose and bust your face to get a rebound? I can do that too. So like those players help you win.
Yeah.
And we give Gatewood a hard time. We challenge them a lot, but that's going to help that team. The grittiness of their team this weekend. Part of it's Michelle coming back, Perryman growing into a confident role, adding the
Jocelyn Hartfield
from SGP. Help me out.
Jocelyn Hartfield.
Yeah.
Jocelyn Hartfield.
And then adding Jaden Thomas from Arkansas. They've added some grit, and they kind of all stepped it up. So I like that. But yeah, definitely, I've been a Perryman fan just because you're always looking for those glue kids that just don't demand a lot of attention, and then the next thing you know, they made a difference.
Absolutely, make impacts on the game without the ball.
Right,
you're going to spend more time without the ball, and she just doesn't care. I liked her, even last year.
Yep.
It's great to see her growth and her game expand. But she just continues to do what she does. Doesn't get lost in the fanfare and all that kind of stuff. But just that's a kid you can win a lot of games with.
Yep. Next one for me would be Texas Elite, Cammie McKinney. Cammie's been on the scene a long time as a point guard, and stepped into the role with two. AJ Marat's really good, going to Washington, and then help me out. Earl going to ACU. So she stepped into a team with veterans that can be hard to do as a point guard with kids that have been together. And I thought they got better as the weekend went on because of that, as she got more comfortable and understanding who goes where, that kind of thing. So in her role, not to try to overdo it, but to facilitate some and score when need be, that kind of thing. So she's starting to figure some things out amongst her team. Again, always ultra talented. She's been around, her name's been around since she was probably in sixth grade, somewhere around there, that kind of thing. So I thought she did a really good job maturing with her team as the week goes on. It just shows you what reps will do when you're competing.
I think you nailed it with kind of learning how to run a team, right? It's these guards, especially as they're getting older and they're finding that they're going to play people as athletic as them or quick or, skilled or whatever. They have to find out that their bad shots are really glaring and they can't take those bad shots as a smaller guard. And got a little bit better as the weekend progressed. I would challenge her to find some value in that, because her decision making is going to make or break, whether or not their team can compete in some bigger games. Mm-hmm. And I told you see the skill set, but you just want to see the consistency.
Mm-hmm. 2023, I'm gonna go to Joey's team. I'd be crazy not to talk about Kylie Marshall. Yeah, I want to shout out, before I get into Callie, I want to shout out Jersey Bryant. So Jersey Bryant used to be as a young kid, was a bully forward, and because she's gone out to the perimeter, she had to get comfortable, and that's taking some time. She really passed the ball really well this weekend. So
better. Every aspect of her game. She got good minutes. Some at the point in her high school season.
Yep.
And it looks like, just being coached hard before you get there has helped her out. You just got to be proud of a kid getting better. It doesn't matter, level up, this and that. No, we're not talking about any of that. Just talking about a kid that got better.
Yeah.
Great to see.
It is. And a great point by you in that she had full responsibility on her high school team as a freshman. And you can see it. You see it in her game.
Had to grow up, right?
Yep.
This is where the evaluation and growth in players is not all about ball in hand, sweaty workouts. Sometimes it's just about growing up. Right. And being told all year long by your varsity head coach, look, if you're throwing a ball to the other team, we can't win. So figure it out, and then being given the rope to do that. So, that's, you're happy for a kid to get better.
Yeah. And circling back to Kylie Marshall, just a natural score, 5'9", 5'10", somewhere in there, 3-level score, and she gets better and better and better. And it's just fluid. It's natural. I think Shane used the perfect word over the weekend, smooth, because sometimes it looks effortless. Like you wonder if she's playing hard, and of course she is. She's just smooth in nature in the way she does things. So
yeah, it's like you got to be careful with those players. Sometimes you're like, man, they don't go hard. And I would, and to be fair, I talked to Kylie a little bit, and I said, you decide that you want to prove that you're the best player on the floor every time you're on the floor, then you're going to be really good. Right now, you're a really talented player on the floor.
Right.
But she can impose more physically on the floor than she does, especially on the defensive end, especially off the ball. But she's as talented in the gym this weekend as there was, and we had some pretty good talent in the gym. That group is good, and they have a chance to do something really special because they've got some serious depth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And y'all had been talking about them, and this first time I got to see them, and it was, Sub was like, oh, there's another high level. Oh, well, there's another, Joey continued to pick up kids to make them better. And, probably and I've heard her name, and I first got to saw her was Jalen Bristow, from Wichita Falls Rider. And, I heard her name, and we kind of texted a little bit about her, but it was like to see her was like, oh, okay. I mean, high motor kid, rebounds hard, runs the floor, can hit it out to the elbow. And, I mean, a kid that just with a lot of promise, and for the team just provided a really athletic forward that fits in with what they're doing. And so I thought that was another tremendous addition there, along with a couple other players. But that one was, for me, was over the top.
She and Addie Brown play well together. They're both good passers, and they're both comfortable away from the rim. So it's going to be interesting to see how this team evolves because in the past, Joey tended to have post players and guards and wings. They've got maybe a system that they can run a little bit more open. So that's kind of the discussions we've had, or the challenge that I've put is that you can really space and make a problem for these people. So and then like we talked about earlier, that Hadley Perryman comparison to like Riley, is it I don't want to say the last Verdine. And then like Jenna, Kendall, and then you got the Plano East Post player Taylor Hagan. They've got nice niches and little spots to fill. And then of course you've got Marin Archer who committed to Arkansas recently, who did some really good creating. I told them I was proud of them. They got better passing the ball as the weekend went on. But I told them, I said, the only person I saw make an extra pass, like Skip could have shot it, but made the extra pass with the open shot, was Marin. And those are the kind of things that if that team will start doing more of that, they could get really good.
Absolutely. How about some under the radar kids? I know we talked about some top level teams and kids. How about some under the radar kids that you just caught your eye? You may have hadn't caught your eye before, but give us some names. We'll kind of shoot out some names of stuff that.
West Texas Blazers, Ashton Garner, 5'11", wing out of Tuscola. So ability to shoot, put it on the deck, off the spot up. Had a couple nice dimes. Just good, solid size at 5'11", and was with the ability to create. Because it looked like to me she probably hasn't played post in high school. Not knowing, I didn't see it, but I bet that. And so you could see her she's working on her wing skills to expand her game.
Right.
I thought Clara Graham was a point guard from Texas Platinum, 16U. She's out of Jim Ned. Just gritty and tough. Nice shake to her. Couple nice angled passes that really caught my eye. I thought she was pretty good. Reagan Jackson out of Kennedale plays for Lady Drive Nation's 16U team.
Right.
You know, what first caught my eye was just energy level and just the fact she has a really natural defensive stance. But then she shot a 3 and that really elevated, which is rare. Young. I thought she was pretty good. Maggie Hutka, Lady Drive Nation.
Roy City
in the building.
Lefty shooter. And has some versatility. Not trying to label her or whatever, but she can shoot it. So like that's a really good thing. So there were some. Peyton Stellato, Jimmy's daughter, is smart, really good in the pick and roll. She's, Stockton-ish in the pick and roll. Just stop, wait. When's the window open? Here's the ball. Can shoot it. A little shake to her. Nice right to left. She's gotten better.
Absolutely. I thought Malika Matic with Texas Platinum 16U Gold. She's actually from Serbia and played on their national team. And so I got to see her at European Championships a couple years ago. And so it was good to see her, and she was really good. For the Lone Star Magic, Avery Kleinhans.
No doubt.
She went at Lady Drive and gave them all. They ran multiple defenders, but just a 5'9" kid who can score. She's from a small high school, Nocona High School. You can tell like she's just got to score, and she just has that natural ability. With her there. Tiana Amos from Plano East. I saw her play, just a hard nose. She put it on the floor. Just saw her do some good things. And then, kind of a name to kind of follow, Tori Sever. She's a 6'5", 2023. Tons of potential. Runs the floor, keeps the ball high, plenty of length. It's going to be really interesting just to watch her develop and see what she plays for. True Texas Hoops 2023 Crabtree, and see what she looks like. She's still got some development, but she's 6'5" and long.
She'll get better with him.
Absolutely. So,
hey, and I got one. I think there was the steal of the weekend. I've talked to numerous college coaches about her, but Ayana Wynn from the Family Renegades.
I was
6'1", 6'1", multiple jumpers of 15 to 18 foot jumpers on a pull up. Athletic is all get out.
Right.
Got to the rim. They ran out of energy as a team a little bit. Hit the wall that last game, but she was given Team Lex, the Gatewood team, Team Lex Tar Heels, some real problems.
Right.
And she really caught my eye throughout. Now, so she had my line buzzing a little bit today. So
absolutely. Well, we talked about some top players on some top teams. Under the radar kids, but we can't go without talking about some young ones. And there was a dynamite matchup there with Trae Young Elite and is that Lady Drive 15U?
Randall Jet, whatever 2025 group it is. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that is that 2025 Keziah Lofton. Which I'll let somebody speak on her in a second. But and Trae Young Parks, I'm going to blank on her first name.
Healy.
They went head to head. And that's two 25s that are.
It is.
That is back and forth. So
it is, and I don't jump on the like when college coaches ask early, like young ones like that. But those two have the bones. They compete. They're super skilled. Yeah, definitely. Right. Jay, you saw.
I saw Keziah about a year ago at Adrian McCardle's event here in Dallas at DeSoto and fell in love with her there, playing for Jason Terry at the time. And I'm telling you guys, if you ever listen to me on these things, she is a no doubter. And so
in Cali too, right? That's
both, no doubt.
Right.
And so I'm transitioning to Cali after, but Keziah has all 5 tools. She really, the thing I like about her the most is her patience and understanding of basketball, the true basketball IQ. Her look-ahead passes yesterday, I mean, she must have had 4 or 5 off of rebounds where there's times I know she wanted to go back at Kylie. But the right basketball play was get it up the floor, so she did, right? That kind of thing. And then Kylie, Keely. I'm sorry, Keely. Keely is just relentless. I mean, relentless.
She's got the same like poise about her that her sister does. Their faces never change.
Yeah.
They stay within a fundamental game, and they're just tough. But they can shoot. You got to honor the shot fake. Like she's good, man. I really like at halftime of their game. She had 21 of 23, I think, against that team.
Yeah,
it's silly.
Yeah,
absolutely. And so that, I mean, that was a just tremendous matchup back and forth, and and multiple, you know, other great players on that team. It went back and forth. Just those two is very rare that you see young kids that are that high level, and they checked each other the whole game. You know, and that kind of stuff. And then, you know, we can't end without, you know, hey, Cypher's 2016.
Yeah.
And Texas used 2016, and they, I heard me right, 26. That was a heck of a game.
Yeah. And maybe the best, maybe my favorite game, along with the game we just talked about, but maybe one of my favorite games of the weekend, because I love young kids anyway. I always have, just watching the energy and that kind of thing. That Cypher team, I can't imagine there's too many 26s in the country better than them. I mean, of course, we're way early. We'll see where it all goes. But you got legit kids. Well, hello. But you have legit kids all over the floor that you know these are players. I mean, there's no question, just from the skill perspective and the understanding of the game and all that. And of course, they're way young. We don't need to throw individual names out yet, but they're as good as it gets. And they came in saying, we're the best 26 team in the country. I think, and, you know, we'll see if that's true or not, but you can tell that's what they're working towards. Like, hey, they're a team that's going to try to take on all comers.
Absolutely. So, great weekend at the Yellow Rose this weekend. This next weekend, we've got a top Elite 72 showcase in Tulsa, and we got Let Freedom Ring there in Mansfield. And so we're excited to get back in the gym with everybody, see some new faces, some new teams. And so we appreciate you tuning in. For Shane and Jason, this is Mark Williams, and we're coming to you from the baseline.